Coming up on SportsCenter, there is a storm front on the horizon, but don't be alarmed. Shaq's just learned a new word.
We plan to exercise hegemony on all these teams. For those who don't know what hegemony means, it means to exercise domination.
How about demolition? No, not that demolition. We've got all the All-Star festivities, as well as an all-new manager, 2 All-England finals, an All-Pro trial. We've even got Super Mario and Ricola. So try to maintain your concentration, even in the most difficult of circumstances. But keep your head up, because you never know what you might run into on SportsCenter next.
Know the feeling. Hello and welcome from World Headquarters. It's The Big Show, and alongside my tag team partner, Dan Patrick, I'm Keith Olbermann.
Coming up on SportsCenter, the Marlins are perking with a new skipper. The streaker is gone, but the Wimbledon competition continues. And what do David Letterman and the Detroit Tigers have in common?
But first, for those of you who don't like home runs, Major League Baseball held its Home Run Derby Monday afternoon as part of the All-Star Game festivities. This would be a different event than the other Home Run Derby, which started on March 31st of this year in Seattle on opening night of the regular seasons. Here are the highlights. Please stand well back of your television. It's all of them guys, except the ones who bagged out at the last minute. Greg Vaughn, you're fired. Ofer, Gary Sheffield, you're fired. But Jay Buhner hit the ball real hard. 6 in round 1. Second deck. None of these actually count, by the way. Home run leader Brady Anderson advanced to round 2. 5 home runs. Brady?
That might be the most nervous I've ever been in a batter's box ever.
Well, batting practice is okay, but when you have to do the home run hitting contest, I think that's the only time I'm nervous.
See where that's a problem.
Give Peace a chance. Bonds didn't look nervous. Barry unloaded 4 homers in the first round. And then it was Mark McGwire's turn. You guys keeping score at home here? And those weren't his longest in the first round. McGwire from way downtown. Bang! 460 feet well into the upper deck. Round 2 started like round 1 ended. Bonds, second deck. 9th homer of the round would go into the upper deck. This is deep, and I don't think it's playable. Somehow, home run cliches don't seem to do this justice. Mark?
Steve is sweating.
I don't want to know the answer to that. The answer, in fact, is no. Bonds hits 10 homers in round 2. He's up to like 1 million. Barry, take a break. McGwire's turn, round 2. It's deep, and I don't think it's playable. Oh, but listen to what we hear now. Listen.
It's a moonshot. There's a plate up there. Look out. Gone. First time.
That's Dan's line. Showdown round 3 is Bonds versus McGwire. Bay Area Central. McGwire takes this one deep. Hit the ball real hard. Bonds, meanwhile, in full concentration, or he's asleep. One of the two.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Barry Bonds, without getting it out, has struck 3 home runs, and Mark McGwire just threw the towel.
So Bonds wins the individual competition, but here's a lesson to you for home run fans. Those who hit the most home runs in an individual game, his team lost. The American League won this thing. 59 home runs, the most in any major league game since like last week. 10 guys go yard 59 times, and nobody gets knocked down. Later, our breakdown segment, home runs in the regular season. Dan?
It came as no surprise, not even to Rene Latchman when he was fired Sunday. The surprise came in the form of his replacement. On Monday, the Marlins named 47-year-old John Bowles as their new skipper. Bowles had been the team's vice president of player development, but last managed 10 years ago in AAA.
We need to get the hitting going. We haven't scored enough runs. I mean, that's in a nutshell. And in this business, it's not any secret. It's not any mystical formula as to how you win baseball games. You prevent the big inning on defense, and you advance runners on offense. And so we have to do that. We have to execute.
Here's his resume. Over the past 9 years, he has worked in the front office of the Marlins, Expos, and Royals. It was in Montreal where Bowles worked for the Marlins' current GM, Dave Dombrowski. Bowles will make his debut at home Thursday against world champion Braves. The Marlins sent 3 players to the All-Star game, pitchers Kevin Brown and Al Leiter, and outfielder Gary Sheffield, but both Brown and Leiter admitted they really didn't know too much about their new skipper. For more quotes, notes, and anecdotes from the All-Star Game, let's join Carl Ravitch and Peter Gammons attached to Philadelphia.
Dan, thank you, and welcome everyone to Philadelphia's side of this season's All-Star Game, Tuesday night, 8:29 first pitch. Before we get to the All-Star Game, let's look at the Marlins situation. New manager now, John Bowles.
Hasn't managed in 10 years. They say he's going to be a strict disciplinarian. He hasn't ever disciplined Major League players. I find this, it reeks of something that's done way above the baseball people. And I'll tell you, talking to players about this today, discipline requires a lot of respect. If you haven't been in uniform and down to your players, it's going to be very difficult to get that.
Well, John Bowles takes over as manager of the Florida Marlins, replacing Renee Latchman. One of the situations I'd like to discuss here at the All-Star Game, of course, is weather. Monday, it rained in the morning. It did not cool temperatures a bit by the afternoon. Down on the field at Veterans Stadium, temperatures got up to about 125 degrees. Weather for Tuesday night's All-Star Game is supposed to be in the 70s, and that is much better, though we are supposed to get a little bit of rain on Tuesday. Ideal hitting conditions, well, this entire season has been ideal for hitting conditions. Dave Campbell was down on the field. He starts his news of the day off with a pitching situation.
To the surprise of absolutely no one, National League manager Bobby Cox named 14-game winner John Smoltz to start for his team. Little tougher decision for Mike Hargrove, but he picked his own Charles Nagy over the Yankees' Andy Pettitte. One surprise, though, controversial choice, Lance Johnson will start in center field for the National League and lead off.
He's the only true center fielder that made the ball club. I wanted to make sure that we got one on there, and that's no reflection on Barry Bonds at all, because he's willing to play center, and I talked to him this morning about it, and he can very well play center, probably as good as anybody around.
1995 National League MVP Barry Larkin bats second, with three-time MVP Barry Bonds hitting third. Fred McGriff struggled in June, but has hit the ball hard the past 6 games. National League leading vote-getter Mike Piazza will catch, and Dante Bichette bats 6 and will play right. Chipper Jones starts in the place of the injured Matt Williams. Craig Biggio will hit 8th and play 2nd, and John Smoltz will bat 9th. Jones is in his first All-Star game.
I'm just flabbergasted, first of all, to make the team, because, I still think Matt, Ken Caminiti, those are the guys that I look up to as a third baseman. They're the best third baseman in the league, and they deserve to be here as well.
One of baseball's top #1 hitters, Kenny Lofton, leads off for the American League. Wade Boggs hits 2nd. And if Robbie Alomar's injured finger is okay, he'll bat 3rd, but he did miss Monday's workout. If Alomar can't go, the Major's leading hitter, Chuck Knobloch, will start, but Hargrove says that could alter his batting order. Frank Thomas has a sprained foot. He pulled out of the home run hitting contest, but figures to start on Tuesday. Albert Bell has been battling a slump, but he'll hit 5th. Pudge Rodriguez bats 6 and catches. Cal Ripken makes his 14th appearance at shortstop, and Brady Anderson, with a Major League leading 30 home runs, will bat 8th.
Brady Anderson, I guess, hit his 30th last night, and I think it says a lot about your lineup when you can have a guy that's hit 30 home runs hitting 8th in it for you.
Also on the injury front, Boston's Mo Vaughn has a torn ligament in the middle finger on his right hand. He skipped the home run contest and probably will only get 1 at bat tomorrow, while Atlanta's Greg Maddux fouled a bunt off his toe yesterday, split the nail. I doubt very seriously if he'll pitch. From Philadelphia at the All-Star Game, Dave Campbell, ESPN.
Dave, thank you. Very different situation between the American and National League. The American League goes with 4 starters, the rest relievers. The National League, 7 starters and 3 stoppers. Much more on the pitching. 1996 later on SportsCenter from Peter Gammons. That'll do it from Philadelphia. Now let's go back to SportsCenter and Keith.
Carl, thank you. Baseball's Home Run Derby was Monday. Basketball's Free Agent Derby is Tuesday. That's when the lid comes off on player moves, noon Tuesday, amid frenzied rumors of Shaq signing with or being traded to the Lakers. The Washington Bullets managed to legally jump the gun yesterday by taking out a half-page ad in the Washington Post, which included a letter from owner Abe Pollin saying how much they want to re-sign Juwan Howard and promised that the team would match any fan contributions to Howard's charitable foundation. The Dream Team figures into all this stuff, too. They're in Phoenix, which means Charles Barkley is in Phoenix. And as David Aldridge reports, Charles has more on his mind than just the question of whether or not he's staying in Phoenix. It's court TV time again.
With less than 24 hours to go before the biggest group of free agents in NBA history is let loose upon the league, one man who's under contract, Charles Barkley, was the center of attention again on the U.S. men's Olympic basketball team. This time, it was because of an incident in a Cleveland bar late Saturday night in which a patron and Barkley exchanged punches.
I'm only going to win so many bar fights.
Barkley and fellow Olympian Reggie Miller were in the Basement, a nightclub in Cleveland's flat section of town, when a man approached Barkley around 1:30 a.m. Although Miller and Barkley had security with them to prevent just such an incident from occurring, words were exchanged and fists soon flew.
My security guard say he hit me, and I filed a complaint against him.
Well, Reggie said you got him after you.
Well, whatever, man. You know, you just get sick of people trying to sue you and make money. But I'm never going to settle, or whatever happens, happens.
I'm glad, you know, I was there to witness what he goes through. It's unfortunate because of who he is. People try and take advantage of him.
But Tuesday, most everyone in the league will forget about Barkley's troubles. For at noon on Tuesday, the great stampede of free agents begins. Millions will ultimately flow the way of Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, Alonzo Mourning, and Juwan Howard. And what of Shaquille O'Neal, who can either write his ticket to Los Angeles or remain king of Orlando?
I don't know much about the market, but I know if a BM costs 32 and the Benz house costs 37, period. So Mourning's going to get 15.
For the league's free agents, Tuesday is Independence Day. A movie of the same name grossed more than $83 million over the weekend. The players who are fortunate enough to be free agents now are hoping to do a little better. In Phoenix, I'm David Aldridge, ESPN.
This just in, the Lakers have signed their big man in the middle. That would be Chick Hearn. The Lakers veteran Chicky Baby play-by-play man has re-signed for another year, thus getting the chance to continue his streak of having announced 2,870 straight games.
Still to come on the big show, we turn the stage over to the king of late-night TV. David Letterman joins us for his take on the first half of the baseball season. It's his top 10 list. Also on the menu, there is a change in the weather. And at the top of the Tour de France, we will also bring you the comeback of umpire Eric Gregg, who returns with a new look and outlook. And in Dallas at the Michael Irvin trial, did police do their job in handling the evidence? This is SportsCenter.
This is the story of the man in black, and the Goodrich team keeps his car on track. You know their secret's consistency. It's all in the list. And if it takes all night, they'll get it done right. Turn to your GM Goodrich service team for consistency and attention to detail. Their tools, training, equipment, and genuine GM parts let you run with the winners. To build the perfect ride, use a checklist as your guide. And always keep the customer satisfied.
This summer, make more of yourself.
Doug, your clone.
And get more, too.
Like I mean 3.
Hi. And more.
I'd like to meet 4.
Out of life.
We made a copy of a copy. It's not quite as sharp as the original.
Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton.
What is going on with you?
And Andy McDowell.
What happened?
Multiplicity.
Nobody has sex with my wife but me.
Rated PG-13. Special sneak preview Sunday night.
Pure performance. Zostrix Sports. New from Zostrix. The topical pain reliever doctors prescribe most. The purest capsaicin you can get. Zostrix Sports. Relieves joint pains, muscle aches. Don't play hurt. Zostrix Sports outperforms pain.
You extend your dialing finger and dial
1-800-COLLECT.
And why do we dial 1-800-COLLECT instead of 0?
To save people up to 44%.
What if your dialing finger is injured? You may use an alternate finger and still save.
1-800-COLLECT. Learn it, use it, save up to 44%.
Where's everybody going? The Ace Independence Day sale, where you'll find help on all your summer hardware needs at great all-American savings. Hurry in. It's gonna be big. SportsCenter is brought to you by Ace Hardware. Ace is the place with the healthful hardware folks. And by 1-800-COLLECT, the way to save on collect calls.
The Wimbledon that would not die is finally over. The rain-delayed women's and mixed doubles finals were finally completed. No streakers, no charge to get in, free admission even to the Royal Box. The news, Martina Hingis paired with Helena Suková, seeking to become the youngest champ of any kind in Wimbledon history. First set against Meredith McGrath and Alyssa Nyland. The Suková wrapped winner down the line, 1-1 after 2 sets. So here's match point. I'll save you the suspense. Hingis and Suková win. Hingis, 15 years, 282 days, 3 days younger than Lottie Dodd was when she won the women's singles in 1887, which means Lottie is 124 right now. In the mixed doubles final, Larissa Nyland again, serving with Cyril Suk, playing alongside his sister Helena Suková. And it's brother and sister winning in that one. First time since '91, no American won any of the Wimbledon titles.
Last month, National League umpire Eric Gregg checked into the Duke University Diet and Fitness Center with one big goal, to lose 50 pounds. Gregg became concerned with his health following the tragic death of his friend and fellow umpire John McSherry.
It was very difficult because I'm from the old school where we eat whatever we want and eat after the game and all the fast foods and things like that. But the most important thing was for me is my boss, Mr. Coleman, and my attorney, Richie Phillips. They gave me the time off with pay, the chance to go get my life in order, and it really, really saved me.
Well, Eric Gregg is set to return to work this weekend in Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium, the city and the site where John McSherry collapsed and died on opening day. Keith?
After the long weekend, the Michael Irvin trial continued with the first murmurs about the second and possibly still wilder trial, the one of the now ex-cop who allegedly tried to get Irvin killed, but only after the ex-cop lawyers said Monday Irvin had threatened to hurt the ex-cop's girlfriend. Mark Schwartz reports now from Dallas on the trial ahead and the one that's already underway.
Michael Irvin was attentive but subdued during this, the third day of testimony. He did not take notes. Irvin's day began with quite a jolt when he was subpoenaed as a witness by the attorney of Johnny Hernandez. That's the ex-Dallas cop charged with trying to arrange to have Irvin killed. Hernandez attorney John Reed explains.
He is a part of it. I don't know if it's a key, but he's a part of it. I mean, he's part of the problem, and that's why my client's been arrested.
Reed also told me, quote, Irvin started all of this with his threats of serious bodily harm and death to my client Hernandez and his girlfriend Rochelle Smith. As it turns out, Irvin's subpoena was later recalled, and Hernandez was unsuccessful in getting his bail reduced from its current $252,500. Two more Irving police officers took the stand to testify about the night of March 4th, including Jonathan Plunkett, who says that he and another officer drew guns shortly after entering the hotel room because, quote, just because Irvin is a celebrity doesn't mean he won't pull a gun or do something crazy, unquote. Plunkett also described Irvin's eyes as being bloodshot and glassy and suggested that he was under the influence of marijuana that night, though not under the influence of cocaine. Well, defense attorney Don Godwin pressed Plunkett, wondering why, if the cops thought Irvin was intoxicated, would they allow him to leave the scene in his white Mercedes, and why would they not administer a field sobriety test? The defense also focused on how police handled the physical evidence, accusing officers of violating procedure, not preserving fingerprints, not wearing rubber gloves, and thus contaminating evidence. And a member of the Irvin defense team told me that Michael did spend the holiday weekend with his wife, Sandy, though to this point we have seen no Irvin family members inside the courtroom, and there's not been any cowboy anywhere in sight. Reporting from Dallas, I'm Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
Meanwhile, a trial date of August 5th is being bandied about for the ex-officer Johnny Hernandez. And Terry Glenn will get his first court appearance before he plays his first NFL game. The Pats' top pick out of Ohio State was charged with failure to control his car and driving with a suspended license after the receiver slammed into a tree in Columbus, Ohio over the weekend. He and his passenger were slightly injured. Alcohol was not involved. Yeah.
Still to be served from the Big Show menu, he has had NASCAR's dream team behind him for the past 10 years. And now the men behind Dale Earnhardt are looking to expand their horizons. John Kernan will explain from the fast lane. Also on the way, it's a star-studded affair at the Vet. We will go celebrity snooping at the All-Star venue. The whiff, that's Jerry Stackhouse. We'll be showing that one over and over during NBA season. Our breakdown segment will show you every home run hit during the first half of the season, or at least the first 2,700.
ESPN, the leader in sports broadcasting, presents the Total Sports Video Library, featuring over 80 action-packed titles, including the greatest moments in sports history, informative how-to videos from renowned experts, and the funniest bloopers ever made. Whatever your sport, ESPN Home Video has got what you need.
Available at Wegmans Home Video and at Fred Meyer.
What's the right grip feel like? Should you use the same club on every chip shot? The answers are in Golf Digest. No matter how well you play, you'll find tips and advice that will dramatically improve your game. Guaranteed. Want to know where the slot is at the top of your backswing? Or if you're good enough to carry a 4-iron, subscribe to Golf Digest. 12 issues are only $19.77. You'll also get our video, Hit It Longer and Straighter, free.
Call 800-228-6000. That's 800-228-6000.
The best of the Olympic trials. A look back at the greatest triumphs and most memorable moments. The U.S. Olympic Trials. Call to Glory. Highlights continue with swimming, diving, and boxing tomorrow at 9 on ESPN.
Well, the cold snow, if you have a millionaire quarterback throwing passes, you'd better have a millionaire receiver catching them. Marvin Harrison, the 19th pick overall, is in camp. $5.8 million over 5 years. Colts became the third team to sign their #1 pick. Chiefs signed a pair of running backs from the World League. Saron Stacy scored 7 touchdowns, led the World League with 780 yards rushing. They also signed Terry Richardson. How about the Giants? They re-signed 2 of their own. Wide receiver Arthur Marshall, an unrestricted free agent, caught 17 passes last season. He also returned 12 punts. Giants also re-signed defensive end Michael Strahan, the restricted free agent, led the Giants with 7.5 sacks and 15 starts last season. That's the NFL news we have for the moment.
It did not snow in Colorado on the 8th of July. It did not snow in Alaska on the 8th of July. It did not even snow in Bristol, Connecticut on the 8th of July. During the Tour de France on the 8th of July, during the Tour de France, it snowed. Stage 9 supposed to be to Sestriere, Italy, but there was a blip and blizzard on Col de la Seran Mountain. Mon Dieu, they said, Gianluca Pagliuca. 60-mile-an-hour winds on the second mountain forced officials to shorten the race to just 28 miles. It's snowing. 2 big climbs eliminated, so they got into team cars and drove this stage of the Tour. No. Finally, the defending champ Miguel Indurain on the far left in white and blue leads the charge. He finished 5th in this one. The winner, Denmark's Bjarne Riis, made a solo breakaway and will get the kiss off the glass, even though he looks like Lon Chaney as the Phantom of the Opera. Thank you. After the cavort, Riis said it was cold out there. LeBlanc second. Udo Boltz was 6th. Yesterday's winner, Yevgeny Berzan, placed 14th. Top American George Hincapie, 130th. Riis takes the lead from Berzan by 40 seconds with just, 6-7 months to go. Indurain sinks to 8th. Zula is in 13th. George Hincapie, 132nd. And Dick Trickle, 206th.
Sterling Marlin won Saturday's rain-shortened Pepsi 400. He was asked if winning the abbreviated race would require an asterisk in the record books. Marlin responded, "I don't care. The winner's check is going to be the same." For more on the NASCAR scene, including the teamwork of Winston Points leader Dale Earnhardt, here's John Kernan from the Fast Lane.
The brand new Texas Motor Speedway plans a news conference this Thursday, presumably to announce a NASCAR Winston Cup date for next season. Bruton Smith, who Speedway Motorsports Incorporated owns the track, along with the Charlotte Motor Speedway and several others, will not comment. But it is believed he will move the spring North Wilkesboro date to the Texas track, with the race held on April 6th. There's also the possibility that the Texas track will receive 2 Winston Cup dates for 1997. Last week, NASCAR President Bill France Jr. said to expect an announcement within the next couple of weeks concerning the growth of the sport.
Here is Dale Earnhardt taking the checkered flag and winning the Purelator 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Career victory number 70.
Richard Childress's racing team had fielded the dominant car on the track over the last 10 years. But the emergence of the 3-car Hendricks squad has forced Childress to go to a multi-car setup. Childress will add a 2nd car to his stable next season with NASCAR truck champion Mike Skinner as the driver. Childress says they needed to add another team just to increase the resources from which to draw. He and Dale Earnhardt have won 6 Winston Cup championships together. The dominoes have begun to fall in the driver changes category. Kyle Petty is leaving the Sabco team after this season. He says he'll wait about a month before deciding where to go. Sabco has not yet named a replacement for Petty. Scott Goodyear, who fractured several vertebrae in a crash during practice at Brazil in March, returns to racing action this weekend at Toronto. And drag racing legend Don the Snake Prudhomme, who fields top fuel cars for Larry Dixon, says he hopes to put together a funny car team for next season. Prudhomme, who won 4 funny car championships in the mid-70s, says he hopes to find a sponsor to provide financial support in the next couple of weeks. From the Fast Lane, John Kernan, ESPN.
The Fast Lane is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. We keep America running.
Still ahead of the big show, Trenton makes the world takes the Double-A All-Star Game in Trenton, New Jersey. A mascot named Boomer. Okay. And remember when baseball used to have pitchers? We'll try to find out where they all went.
Where does Napa keep over 200,000 different parts? Right up here. Now remember, your belt tension on this is critical. What kind of car is it? Well, I'll sell you all the struts you want, but I wouldn't recommend putting them in without the right tools. I'm sure we have it. Okay, is it a 77 or a 78? Because they changed the carburetor in 78. Actually, that's not a stupid question at all. I know what it used to be. You don't stay at Napa long handing out the wrong answers, and I'm not planning on going anywhere.
Keep America running.
Fred Engel just bought fertilizer for the women's gymnastics team. The Garcias got a new love seat for America's boxers. Deborah Bishop just bought 5 dresses for the U.S. decathlon team. And Tony Johnson, a new garden hose for the U.S. mountain bikers. When you use your Visa card, Visa will make a donation to help all our Olympic hopefuls go for the gold. Like Jerry Graff, who picked out this new aquarium for the synchronized swimmers. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Concentrate. Just concentrate. Think up the middle. This one's going right over the front desk.
Introducing soft foam autograph bat and ball sets from Pizza Hut, featuring some of your favorite Major League players like Ken Griffey Jr. Get one set for $5.99.
I was safe.
Out. Safe. Out.
Junior, bedtime. We've got a game tomorrow.
Do I have to?
Oh, man. Pizza Hut, you'll love the stuff we're made of.
He did it.
Hi, this is Chris Myers in Los Angeles. Join me on Tuesday. We'll go up close with Tampa Bay Bucs head coach Tony Dungy. Why did it take so long for him to become a head coach of the NFL, and how long will it take before the Bucs are back in the playoffs?
The city of Cleveland is considering doing something to the now vacant Cleveland Stadium that many of its critics had suggested for years. They want to sink it in Lake Erie. So reported the Wall Street Journal. The idea is that piling the rubble of the longtime home of the Indians and Browns in the lake would create the largest artificial freshwater reef in the world. No truth to rumors that Cleveland is considering inviting Art Modell to be in the stadium if and when they push it into the drink. From Cleveland to Trenton for the Double-A All-Star Game. And, you know, we always have a lot of fun with this competition, but look at what happens. Oh, the humanity! Oh, good. Yes, Double-A All-Stars. The NL affiliates leading 1-0 when Portland Sea Dog Todd Dunwoody, the Florida Marlin prospect, hits one release rotation splash off Calvin Maduro, 2-0 National. Trenton Thunder Todd Carey from the hometown team. Boston Red Sox, that's Vladimir Guerrero, supposedly the best outfielding prospect in the minors. I don't think so. Carey gets a triple. The AL is trailing 2-1. They'd later tie the game at 2. And then at the top of the 6th, the game is still tied at 2. New Haven Raven, Todd Helton, first-round draft choice last year. It's deep, and I don't think it's playable. Despite the optical parallax illusion there, it certainly was a fair ball. That was not the foul ball. 3-2 NL, they win 6-2. Todd Helton said, I hope they have film on that one. First time NL Double-A farmhands have beaten the AL squad since '93, record 83-69 in the house. Todd Dunwoody, the MVP, he done hit the ball real hard, and the way the Marlins are hitting, maybe they should call him up now.
Baseball exploded during the first half of the season, producing a gluttony of offensive stars and questions. Is it the balls, the bats, the ballparks, or simply the bad pitching? Carl Ravitch rejoins us from Philadelphia for more on the state of pitching, a state that has seceded from the Union.
Dan, thank you very much. Back in Philadelphia. Back in Philadelphia for the first time since 1976, the All-Star Game. That year, the American League scored 1 run. Well, good luck to John Smoltz and the rest of those guys trying to keep that lineup to 1 run.
Well, I don't think there's any question that the hitters are much better than they were 20 years ago, but let's face it, the pitching is nowhere near as good. I think we've become the aluminum bat nation. Roger Pavlik was named to the All-Star team with a .515 ERA. And at the time, there were only 6 starting pitchers in the entire American League with ERAs under 4. In comparison, the year the DH started, 1973, there were only 7 pitchers in all the majors who got 25 starts and were over 4. This year, the entire entourage of American League starters has compiled an ERA over 5. In one 8-day period this season, the record for most runs per game was shattered 3 times.
hitters are bigger and stronger now than they've ever been. I do believe that the ball is probably a little bit livelier than it's been in the past, and the strike zone's not very big. You combine all those things, and it makes for a pitcher's nightmare.
For 30 years, Greg Maddox's lifetime, the evolution of the game has essentially been anti-pitcher. They lowered the mounds, they lowered and shortened the fences. All the new ballparks are not only home run exhibition halls, but have virtually no foul territory, which is another 2 or 3 outs a game. The strike zone has gone from the knees to the armpits to the knees to below the belt, which constantly puts batters in 2-0, 3-1 hitters counts.
They need to look at some real concrete rule changes that can help, maybe, you know, from a pitcher standpoint. I think the umpires have made an effort to try and do something, but it's very hard to do. I mean, you're talking about guys that have set their strike zones for 20, 25 years.
The roots of the pitching decline run far deeper than Major League ballparks or strike zones. Many feel that it's an evolutionary process that goes back more than 20 years. Kids don't play as much baseball. They don't throw as much as they once did. Perhaps even more important, 25 years ago, there was the introduction of the aluminum bat and its gradual impact on pitchers and hitters.
It's hard to throw a ball by a guy swinging a 34-inch, 29-ounce aluminum bat, no matter how good a fastball you have.
Not only is the fear of contact a big problem, the lack of velocity is a big problem, too. There isn't as much velocity in baseball now as there was 25, 30 years ago. And the aluminum bat is the problem. Because as a youngster growing up, there is no reward for throwing hard because you can't throw it by them. We go out recruiting, we put a gun up, we see a kid throwing 85 to 87 miles an hour, we're real excited. I mean, and you know, 8, 10 years ago, I mean, you know, if you weren't throwing that, it was almost, well, you know, that's a kid that he's a second-line kid.
Then, when pitchers are signed into professional baseball, once where they were expected to slowly win their way to the big leagues, today they are rushed.
We always thought that guys that we signed out of high school should get about 80 to 90 starts in the minor leagues, maybe college guys about 50 to 60 starts in the minor leagues, even before we think about them at the major league level.
When you have expansion like we've had, there's a lack of player pool. And somebody stands a little above somebody, they move them very rapidly, and they don't gain the experience they really need, so they're learning on the job. And when you learn on the job against qualified major league hitters, it's going to be a tough lesson for a while.
There's guys in the major leagues that don't have a pitching background.
Instead of building up their arm, they're bridled with pitch counts, satisfied with 5-inning outings. Then in the majors, every time we look up, some blast miner or Joe Baver is trying to get crucial outs in the 7th or 8th inning. Go back to '73 again. Some 27 pitchers completed between 10 and 29 games. The only pitcher currently on a pace for double figures this season is Pavlik, who has 6.
The agents have a problem in this because they don't want their young kid to get hurt, and they think it's better for him if he only throws 115 pitches per night. Well, you can't pitch 9 innings with 115 pitches unless you're Catfish Hunter.
Not only are the lower minors victims of what Boston Globe columnist Bob Ryan calls creeping La Russa-ism, but in many cases, all the way back to the colleges, best arms are immediately converted into 3-out relievers.
The power arms now, some of them have gone to the bullpen, and they're not developed as starters, or maybe they just weren't as successful as starters, and it's become such a specialized job. You know, we have setup guys that are some of the best arms in baseball.
But all those runs and those earned run averages aren't just the fault of pitchers.
The weight room has helped the hitter a lot more than it's helped the pitcher.
Hershiser points out that hitters like Brady Anderson and Jeff Bagwell can diligently use the weight room to add bat speed and increase the size of their weapons. Years ago, hitters never studied video, but now hitters like Frank Thomas, Albert Bell, and Barry Bonds are better educated, trained, and conditioned than any previous generation of hitters.
Pitching is not able to keep up with the players, the physical size of the players and the physical attributes of the players. It's just spread too thin.
Carl, we were with Catfish Hunter on Sunday night. 1975, he made 40 starts, and in those 40 starts, the only innings he didn't complete were 18 total for the whole season. He was in a Legion game the other night. The kid walked off the mound with a 7-0 lead because he had thrown 80 pitches.
Said, I'm done. I've had enough. We're joined now by Harold Reynolds. You spent Monday with most of the power hitters in the game. What do they think about the state of pitching?
Almost per man, they said the biggest thing is the pitcher's leaving the ball in the strike zone, right in the sweet spot around the belly, and they're killing the ball. And it's obvious that that's a problem.
As Peter pointed out, they talk about the weight room. How much has it changed from when you started to what the guys are doing now?
Well, I think the biggest thing was when Lance Johnson and Brian Downing, all of a sudden they came back and they were average hitters and they had a lot of bulk and a lot of power. Today I'm walking around in the locker room. These guys are monsters. I mean, they're huge. And it's changed an awful lot, and I think it's changed the whole scope of how the game is played.
The pitchers, as Oral Hershiser pointed out, Peter, don't necessarily get stronger in the locker room. What can they do to combat this?
They can do what the Braves do, throw. I mean, I think that's the biggest problem. We talked about it in the piece. Guys are not going out and throwing a lot on the side. They're not throwing in between. They're not throwing as kids. They haven't built up their arms, and that is a combination of not only velocity, but command and feel of the strike zone and being able to throw your fastball on either side of the plate.
All right, stay tuned to ESPN all day on Tuesday. We will have complete coverage of the 67th All-Star Game from Philadelphia, including post-game coverage. For Harold Reynolds and Peter Gammons, I'm Carl Ravitch. SportsCenter will continue right after this.
All-Star Report is brought to you by Michelin X1, because so much is riding on your tires.
Is Harold ordained doing that? Coming up after a surprise no-go in Oslo, can Michael Johnson take stock in Stockholm and start up a new winning streak in the 200 meters? That's next. This is SportsCenter.
Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It has better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin control in any driving condition. Because you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather.
This is it, where brand new Miller beer begins. Where the hops grow that give new Miller beer its flavor. Because new Miller beer is brewed a totally new way, straight from the heart of the hops, for flavor unlike any other beer. Big flavor that goes down easy. We think so much of this new beer, we're just calling it who we are. Miller. Brand new Miller beer. Reach for what's out there.
It has the highest ground clearance in its class. But more importantly, 1996's pickup truck of the year comes with 190 horses, all with big chips on their shoulders. Toyota Tacoma. You simply can't buy a more powerful compact truck.
How do you keep track of everything that happens in the world of motor racing? You drive with us. RPM Tonight, the ultimate wrap-up of the day that was in the world of motor racing. Monday through Friday at 7 and Sunday at 8, only on ESPN2.
For your viewing pleasure, it's a special SportsCenter Olympic preview, July 16th. Join our team, Jack Edwards, Robin Roberts, and Steve Cyphers. 3 hours, starting at 7:30 Eastern, July 16th, right here on the original.
And at the DN Gallon Grand Prix in Stockholm, the Run DNG, Michael Johnson's last 200-meter run before the Olympics, going toe-to-toe with Trinidad's Ito Bolden, and Johnson's in lane 4. Down the stretch they come. He's back in speed. Johnson's time will be 19.77. Got that one right. Michael Johnson, his 21-event winning streak in the 200 stopped last Friday in Norway. Oslo, hello. Wins this one handily. John Drummond, Ramon Clay, and Kevin Little of the U.S. placing 3, 4, and 5. But Ito had another shot against Drummond and Dennis Mitchell in the 100 meters. Dennis. Bolden in lane 3 from screen right will just edge John Drummond in 10:07.
Got that one right.
Bolden by .02 over Drummond. Bailey right there third. Dennis Mitchell, an unhappy and disappointing fifth.
Still to come on the show, head for cover, it's Home Run Derby. Keith will analyze the number of homers hit during the first half of the season. It's breakdown time next.
Question: how many companies give you cellular, paging, email, and internet all working together? Hint? You can count them on one finger. MCI One. Life just got simpler.
HBO rocks the kingdom. Eric Clapton. The Who highlights Quadrophenia. Bob Dylan. Alanis Morissette. The MasterCard Masters of Music concert for the Princess Trust. Coming soon. HBO. Smashing.
So tell me, do you think it makes more sense to get all this stuff from a bunch of different companies? Or from one company, on one bill, in one box? That's what I thought. MCI One. Life just got simpler.
Let's talk hockey. Toronto Maple Leafs made two moves Monday. They re-signed unrestricted free agent Nick Kypreos. The left winger came over from the Rangers back in February. The Leafs signed another left winger, unrestricted free agent Scott Pearson. He scored 4 goals in 27 games with the Sabres last season while spending some time in Rochester of the AHL. And Keith has reason to renew his season tickets. The Whalers have re-signed right winger Kevin Dineen, the second all-time man on the Whalers games played list, points, scored points, and all those things.
There have been 2,719 home runs hit in this baseball season, and yes, we've shown you virtually every one of them. In a sense, it was impossible even in the dinger-mad days of the 1930s. The home run is overtaking baseball the way the slam dunk is overtaking basketball. But even though you and I intrinsically know there have been a frightening number of homers this year, in our breakdown segment, we're going to give you the hard and fast numbers to confirm that even your worst guesses are unbelievably conservative. 1996 has become synonymous with the home run, or whatever you want to call it. In any language, the homer, the tater, baseball special moment, gone, hurt me, spank me, Jumanji, Yahtzee, aloha means goodbye. It's deep, and I don't think it's playable. You got the idea yet? He hit the ball real hard, and he's hitting it at an alarming rate. 97.1 homers per team, 2,719 big league dingers so far this season. You said it, pal. 20 home runs has long been the benchmark for a good slugging season. 30 players have already slugged at least that many so far. The surprising leader is Brady Anderson with 30. And using the dreaded projected stats, 42 other players are on pace to belt at least 30, well above the record 28 players with 30-plus, set back in 1987. In 1961, a record 8 guys had 40 or more. That mark could be shattered this year. Right now, 24 players are still on that pace. And consider Mark McGwire. Last season, he set a record with a homer every 8.1 at-bats, beating the Babes' 1920 mark of 1 every 8.5 at-bats. This season, the former Bash brother has bashed 28, in just 211 at-bats. That's a long ball every 7.5 at-bats. That would be another record, bettering the old Ruth mark by a full at-bat. McGwire's 28, the large piece of Oakland's Major League high 137 ding-dongs. The M's and O's are right behind with 134 team home runs. All 3 teams on track to beat the 61 Yanks and their record 240 in the year of Maris and Mantle. By the way, each home run has a pitcher on the other end, and this season the Tigers staff has seen 141 offerings quickly deposited out of the yard. Again, a pace to break another record when the Orioles pitchers served up 226 in the year of our ding-dong, 1987. Career highs, too, are falling as fast as the balls are flying. Brady is 9 over his career best. The Red Sox once traded him because they didn't think he'd be a slugger. Todd Hundley has 7 more than his previous best. Henry Rodriguez has shattered his previous mark by 17. Then there are the unbelievable stories of Rex Hudler and Kevin Elster. Rex had averaged 3.5 homers per season over his 10-year career. He didn't even hit them in Japan. He has 11 this year. And Elster has a career-high 12. His only other double-digit mark was 10, set back in 1989. Through it all, pity these guys. Ray Ordonez, Marvin Bernard, Joe Girardi, Biff Roberts, and Mike Kingery. A combined 1,127 at-bats, and they have yet to go deep this season. But there is plenty of time remaining. Those of you who don't like numbers, here's some more numbers. The two-teammate homer record does not appear to be in jeopardy. At current rate of umpires meant Brady and Raffy and Mo and Jose would total 99 homers per combo, 16 shy of what Maris and Mantle did in 61. Thank goodness for small favors.
Breakdown is brought to you by McDonald's. Play when the U.S. wins, you win game. Starting Sunday, July 14th.
Our goal is to go through a SportsCenter without showing you a home run. So to come on the show, the plays, actually not just the plays, David Letterman and the plays, and the top 10 list, and Keith and I. All right, Letterman and the plays.
Do you think you're ready for the pros? Think you're good enough? Fast enough? You kidding? Man enough? Ever had Narcelux?
No.
Stay in school, kid.
McDonald's Arch Deluxe. It's the burger with the grown-up taste.
Well, if my check is $100, I get back 20. If my check is $300, I get back 60. If it's $600, I get back $120.
Introducing a special invitation from Dining a la Carte. A 2-month trial membership for free.
Dining a la carte is earning extra money.
Just for eating out. Dining a la carte works with your credit cards. There are no embarrassing coupons and no restaurant blackout periods.
I love the amount of money that I've saved with dining a la carte. I've saved well over $1,000.
Just dine at participating restaurants. In about 30 days, you'll receive a rebate check that equals 20% of your total restaurant charges, including tax and tips.
Dining a la carte is a good thing for people who like to go out for dinners and like to save money.
And here's your special invitation. Call right now and get a 2-month trial membership for free.
Up in heaven.
Am I a fan of the senior tour? Absolutely. Chi-Chi, Raymond, Murph, how can you not love those guys? Of course, being God, I love everyone.
But answering prayers, forgiving sins, it must be hard to catch every event.
Oh, not when you're all seeing it isn't. Plus, if I'm really strapped for time, I'll just rain an event out and watch it the following year.
Any suggestions on ESPN's coverage?
Fewer blimp shots. I'm getting tired of watching things from above.
Now something special. The baseball plays of the first half is hosted for us by David Letterman. So taking a page from our Sunday night show, among those you won't be seeing, the NFL's Leon Lett, Dodgers physician Dr. Michael Bud Melman, and of course Racing's Dan and/or Hal Gurney.
And you also won't be seeing the Cardinals' Danny. Please don't call me Paul Schaefer. Here's Dave's top 10 list.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in my right hand, I have a copy of tonight's top 10 list. Let's go. Turn on the stuff. Category tonight, top 10 highlights of the first half of the baseball season. Top 10 highlights of the first half of the 1996 baseball season. Are you having a nice time at your gala? Top 10 highlights, first half of the baseball season. Number 10, Cal Ripken Jr. skips a game to catch a really good episode of Melrose Place. Number 9, instead of first ball, President Clinton throws out a half-eaten Arch Deluxe. Number 8, Detroit Tigers promotion, first 9 fans to arrive at ballpark get to start. Number 7, league sets new record in groin pulls. Number 6, cameras catch Ted Turner and Jane Fonda joining the Skybox Club, if you know what I mean. Number 5, Steve Howe picks a runner off first base with his .357 Magnum. Number 4, Hillary Clinton contacts the ghost of Babe Ruth who asked for more hot dogs. Number 3, Dennis Rodman works a White Sox game as a ball girl. Number 2, Albert Bell gets angry with himself for being suspended and punches himself out. And the number 1 highlight of the first half of the baseball season, Yankees threaten to move, Mets threaten to play.
Again going back on it. Still going back at the wall, and this is... Did he catch it? Oh, he caught it! I think he caught it. This is going to be a triple play. The Tigers think the ball went off the wall. They throw the ball to Giambi. He tags second. Steinbach covers first. A triple play!
There's a swing and a high, towering shot headed for the upper deck. No, did it hit the roof? It is gone over the roof.
And that ball is melted. That may be in the upper deck. Fly away, way over the Hard Rock of Fame.
There's a lot you're going to see this summer out of this kid. He's a quality infielder.
Lane being waved around third. Here's the relay throw by Ordonez from his knees, and he got him at the plate.
He's unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
And a smash to short. Oh, diving stop by the shortstop. Ordonez throw to first. Double play. Double play. Ordonez. A magnificent backhand diving stop.
Nothing surprises me with Ray. Ray can play.
Coming on. Are they going to mess it up? No. A diving catch by Ray Ordonez. Ray Ordonez makes a marvelous diving catch.
Are you having a nice time at your gala?
Ricky going to the wall, trying to time it, and made the catch. Oh, my. What a play by Junior.
Rondell White. Got it! What a tremendous catch, but he's got to be hurt.
Olbermann on the curveball. Caminetti. Big time play. Throws from his goal. Oh, my goodness, what a play.
Al Leiter is just one strike away, maybe one pitch away. And here it comes. Swing and a miss. He did it. A no-hitter.
The Juwan. A high pop-up. He's going to do it. And shortstop Jeter. Jeter on the outfield grass makes the catch. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. And Josh Gooden catches a no-hitter.
You've thought about it. What would happen if you weren't here? Where would the money come from to take care of your family, their home, their education, their future? People with life insurance have the answer. Life insurance. It isn't for the people who die, it's for the people who live.
My job is to complete the awarding of the Medal of Honor for Captain Karen Walden. I intend to do it.
On July 12th, discover the power of courage.
Captain Walden saved our lives.
Courage Under Fire is a masterpiece. The first true blue Oscar contender of the year. Denzel Washington, Meg Ryan, Courage Under Fire.
I'm gonna find out the truth, I guarantee you that.
Rated R. Friday, only in theaters.
Every July, for 600 years, the world finds out who's faster than a speeding bull and who's not. The Running of the Bulls, live from Pamplona, Spain, Friday night at 1:30 a.m., only on ESPN2.
All-Star festivities continue. It's the celebrity softball game. That's Meatloaf on the hill. First battery faced, Hall of Famer Lou Brock. And even the ball is juiced in celebrity softball games. Lou has left the yard. So that's Meatloaf meeting Lou Brock, and that's Meet the Press Tim Russert. Senator Arlen Specter looking for a single or a single bullet theory. And Abe Lincoln has a few words for Arlen. Jerry Stackhouse against Kent Colby in the whiff. Jerry. Jerry. ESPN's Harold Reynolds, before he left, told Keith and I he would take one out of the yard. Maybe in his backyard tomorrow, but not today.
Great Arlen Specter. Want to fight a big old jolly fat guy? Coming back.
No!
Introducing 4 extraordinary new meals at Taco Bell. The Extreme Value Combos. At just $1.99 each, some people would say we're giving away the store. Actually, we are. Right now, you could win your own Taco Bell store. Just come in for the new $1.99 Extreme Value Combos and enter to win your very own Taco Bell.
You hungry? I could eat. Well, then I'll pull over.
There's nothing ordinary about it. Taco Bell.
Take strokes off your game, guaranteed.
Jack Nicklaus's personal technique that helps straighten slices.
Take strokes off your game, guaranteed.
Dave Peltz's revolutionary technique that has top pros putting better. Let Golf Magazine show you how to shoot lower, play better, or you don't pay. That's the Golf Magazine guarantee. Call now for your free issue of Golf Magazine. If you decide to subscribe, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $16.97. Plus, get your free Golf Magazine umbrella. Call now.
Fluff's dependable. He knows what to expect from Fluff. Fluff knows Peter inside and out, his emotions, his game. If you walked up to Fluff and said, what's Peter going to hit in this situation, he could tell you what club he's going to hit.
No surprises. Fluff been there forever.
Now. Thank you, Keith. The American League starters for Tuesday night. Roberto Alomar is in the lineup, but listed as questionable with a sprained finger. If he can't go, Chuck Knobloch will get the nod. Brady Anderson, who had never hit more than 21 home runs in a season before, will bat 8th. He has more home runs than Boggs, Rodriguez, and Lofton combined. Charles Nagy, the first Cleveland pitcher to start the All-Star game since Gaylord Perry in 1974.
Arguing that Tony Gwynn's injured and his only true leadoff hitter is Lance Johnson. Bobby Cox chose to start him in center, followed by Barry Larkin. Bonds third. McGriff cleanup. He's had 1 homer in 17 days. Piazza fifth. Bichette sixth. Chipper Jones in for Matt Williams, 7th. Biggio 8th. And the pitcher, Smoltz, is 9th.
We've got you covered Tuesday. Strike up the band. SportsCenter, 6:30 Eastern. All the pregame festivities from Philadelphia. Then the 11 o'clock SportsCenter doing what only they can do. Full coverage. Followed by Baseball Tonight at midnight Eastern.
And Dan and I will wrap up our last edition of the Big Show before the All-Star game in just a moment.
I want to show you what I'm going to get my husband for his birthday. Oh, we got some clothes here. It's going to be one of these really, really nice Shakespeare rods. Kathy Lee, for instance. Oh, wow. I've been having my eye on this. And then I'm going to get one of these really, really great reels. Oh, I would look good in this. Oh, wow. I mean, hey. You don't think he's watching, do you?
My kids, they love the way I dress. They always give me compliments like, Mom, you look nice.
Actually, I can't cast it from here, but...
Natural ability only takes you so far. The right equipment counts for a lot. That's why I like Pert Plus. It gets the job done right. Cleans and conditions in one step. No fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. Winners just find a better way to get there.
I love this. Who should I call?
Anybody who enjoys saving.
My mother's quite thrifty.
Dial 1-800-COLLECT, the number you're calling, and say your name.
Pa, I saved up to 44%, almost all by myself.
1-800-COLLECT. Learn it, use it, save up to 44%.
Wow. Don't it make you feel good to be alive? Huh? Sorry, I was kind of hitting close to home.
Oh, Major League Soccer's find out the way to get into the publicity thing, suspend guys. The Revolution star Alexei Lalas suspended for a game. Oh, got a penalty from that guy in the bad shirt. He threw the ball and kicked the ball into the crowd after a fan or a photographer kicked it back. 1 game. Bye.
Roller hockey picked a pretty good night to hold their All-Star game. We needed highlights. Rob Laurie with the splits and the glove save. East leading 3-2. Hugo Belanger to Tony Sabo. He had the hat trick in the first quarter. 4-2 East. The West took over. Kim Mayer, one-timer, roller hockey term, beats Elaine Morissette. That jagged little pill, 8-6 West. Kim Mayer, another chance. Morissette, 2 big saves. Isn't it ironic? 22 saves for Morissette. Halftime festivities, RHI style for those who are hip. Third quarter, tied at 8. Nick Vitucci, great glove save. Still third quarter. Kim Mayer, slapper, beats Vitucci. 9-8 West. Fourth quarter, He's down 12-10. Tony Sabo, you can't stop him. You can't even contain him. He's down 12-11. Last minute of play. Who do you go to? Tony Sabo at Fuego. He had 6 goals. 12-12 tie. Joe Cook just scored for the West. 14-12. Oh, my goodness.
Relax.
Tony Sabo, 6 goals. He's the all-time leading scorer in RHI history.
Oh, that's a lot of time to cover.
That dates back to... Keith and I return. I don't know what we're going to do when we come back, but we're told we do have to come back. SportsCenter.
Basketball fans, you can't beat this. The Chicago Bulls are the best ever. Enjoy all the record-breaking excitement in this thrill-packed video. The Chicago Bulls, 1996 NBA champions, plus this limited edition SI commemorative. Both are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Your free video lets you run with the Bulls as they rewrite the record books with a flourish and style all their own. Plus, this leather-bound, gold-embossed, individually numbered SI Collector's Edition is a championship memento you'll treasure forever. Get this exclusive Bulls Collector's Package free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now to get the Unbeatable Bulls Championship Pack free from SI. A sports experience like no other. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Behind these doors are 2 people very much alike. Both graduated from college and started their careers at the same time, filled with ambitious dreams about the future. But as you'll see, there is a difference. It isn't intelligence or talent or dedication. It isn't that one person wants success and the other doesn't. The difference lies in what each knows and how each makes use of that knowledge. And that's the purpose of the Wall Street Journal. It gives you knowledge. Knowledge you can use to get ahead. The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. Now, with your paid 10-week subscription, you'll also receive our gift of 2 weeks free. That's 12 weeks of the Journal for just 65 cents a day. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call now, 800-544-1000. That's 800-544-1000 for the Wall Street Journal.
Up in heaven. Am I a fan of the senior tour? Absolutely. Chi-Chi, Raymond, Murph. How can you not love those guys? Of course, being God, I love everyone.
But answering prayers, forgiving sins, it must be hard to catch every event.
Oh, not when you're all seeing it isn't. Plus, if I'm really strapped for time, I'll just rain an event out and watch it the following year.
Any suggestions on ESPN's coverage?
Fewer blimp shots. I'm getting tired of watching things from above.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Michelin X1, because so much is riding on your tires.
The roller hockey all-star game is over. Joe Cook and the West team win. Cook had a hat trick. Tony Sabo, 6 goals. Each player on the winning team got $500.
George Foreman, retired from boxing for these 15 months, tells the New York Times, quote, "I probably will fight again." He doesn't know who, he says, but he thinks it'll be in September in Oregon. So if you're in the neighborhood, that's the thought.
Coming up next, not only cycling, you get weather as well. It's the Tour de France. What stage is this?
206.
9th stage.
Yeah. And the Arlen Specter?
Arlen Specter, you want to explain it?
He was the counsel to the Warren Commission who invented or seized upon the idea of the single bullet theory to explain the Kennedy assassination and the injury to John Connolly. So it was like
See, you confused everybody. Informational and entertaining. This half of the show.
Neither.
For Keith, I'm Dan. Tour's next. Bye.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Welcome to Sestriere, Italy for the World Downhill Skiing. That's not the right script. Sestriere, site of the Stage 9 finish line in the 96 Tour de France. Sorry, but today you can't tell if it's July or January. calendar claims it's the 8th of July, but today the Tour woke up in a snowstorm. It's going to be another dramatic day. Hello, everyone. I'm Adrian Karsten, welcoming you to ESPN's coverage of the 1996 Tour de France presented by Michelin. Well, today the weather will play a part in the 96 Tour de France. Excuse me if that sounds at all rehearsed, though I've only been saying it for the last 10 days. Today, though, it's pretty serious stuff. In a historic decision, the Tour directors decided to eliminate the first two mountain climbs from today's stage. For two reasons. First of all, there's a blizzard on the first mountain, 60-mile-per-hour winds on the second. But just because we've eliminated now 90 miles from today's race, don't think for a moment that that means an easier ride for these guys. What this decision may probably do is to condense all of this tension the riders are feeling after the first Alpine weekend and force them, accelerate them up the final climb. All of this coming on a day when Alex Zula claims, yes, the action may become violent, the Tour is no way over, and when Miguel Indurain says, I'm not out of this yet. But for the first time in 5 years, Indurain is not in yellow the day after the first individual time trial. This morning, just trying to stay warm. But the Danes love this stuff. Just give big Bjarne Riis a stocking cap, some mittens, a whole new cycling fashion look, second overall. Tony Rominger in fourth, feeling nice and cozy. We can't remember the last time we saw the peloton roll out of town this way, with heaters and defrosters on full blast. The course is going to be shortened, but by how much, we don't know. .300 feet up the Col de Liz